Batwoman was kind of on a roll there for a moment, because it's like she had a great season finale, even though it was cut short because of pandemic. We still got that reveal of Bruce Wayne and the whole Hush thing going on there. But right after the season ended, that's where things started to go downhill, because that's when we found out that Ruby Rose was leaving the show and she wouldn't be Batwoman anymore. And then just not too much time went by when we found out that whoever winds up replacing Ruby Rose in the lead role of Batwoman won't actually be playing Kate Kane, but there'll be a brand new character who takes up the mantle of Batwoman. And unfortunately, we still don't know who that's going to be. However, there are some rumors currently right now that Riverdale's Vanessa Morgan might be in the running for this role. And honestly, great casting right there. I just want to mention that. Like, from what we've heard about this character, Ryan Wilder, the new character that will take over the mantle of Batwoman, she's basically the character that Vanessa plays on Riverdale. I mean, basically the same character, but with, a crime-fighting life. So, yeah, it's crazy. And I think that'd be perfect casting, but I'm not going to get into detail on that here because, kind of, what's the point? If I make a video just about that now, like, oh, she's in the running, and then a couple days later, make another video, all right, she got the role. Like, yeah, so I'm not going to talk about that too much until we find out that she actually gets the role, if she does. But the big news now is some Season 2 updates with not only this character of Ryan Wilder, but also the villain of the season. So, according to a report from The Direct, which of course I will leave linked down in the description if you want to go ahead and check it out, Ryan Wilder will don the cape and cowl after her mother is killed by Johnathan Crane, aka the Scarecrow, who will be introduced as one of Season 2's main villains. So this is just a great idea. I've said multiple times in all my Batwoman videos that Scarecrow would be the perfect villain for this show because he just fits in with the aesthetic of the show. Plus, it doesn't seem that they have any plans for him on the big screen, at least not anytime soon. And he was teased multiple times in this first season as well because we saw his fear toxin used on both Mouse and Alice. August Cartwright mentioned that he used to work with Johnathan Crane. So we've had all these teases of Johnathan Crane and the Scarecrow on Batwoman. We just haven't seen him. And he's my favorite Batman villain. So I don't care whether I see him in a movie or a show. I just want to see him in live action as much as I can. And speaking of Scarecrow in live action, he was on Gotham and I love that version. So I'd like to see this version of Scarecrow be something similar to that, at least with the costume and everything, because I love the way his costume came out on that show, and you'll be seeing it throughout this video. But of course they got to make it a little bit different. They got to throw in their own twist, because you can't just do a straight copy and paste from Gotham. You got to change it up a bit and make it really your own version of the Scarecrow. But whatever they do with the character, I'm just excited to see this character. And then this is where things get interesting, and the Direct explains how Scarecrow will tie into the main plot of this season and how Ryan Wilder becomes Batwoman. So the report continues on to say, apparently the budding vigilante, which is Ryan Wilder, she ends up stealing Kate Kane's costume and sets out to track down the murderer of her mother. So this is interesting. So she's definitely going to have heavy ties to Scarecrow, and he'll probably be like her main arch enemy, because for Kate Kane's Batwoman, her arch enemy was Alice. So then for Ryan Wilder, her arch enemy is apparently going to be the Scarecrow. Now, as I just mentioned, Ryan Wilder takes on Kate Kane's costume and then uses that to track down Scarecrow. But the question is, how does she manage to get her hands on the Batwoman suit? Well, that's the other big reveal in this report, because apparently Kate Kane will be killed off either before or just as Season 2 gets underway. So I'm not sure if it will be maybe Ruby Rose has a quick cameo appearance in the beginning of the first episode and then she has a death scene or something. Or if it'll just happen off screen and it'll be weeks ago or days ago, Kate Kane passed away in this horrible accident. And also, if she dies, will it just be like, oh no, it's a thunderstorm, she got struck by lightning, or like something fell on her or something? Or will she actually get murdered? Because that would be really great if she was murdered by Scarecrow, because then that would make him an even higher profile villain to know that he murdered the Batwoman. And also, it would tie tie it all together with the main storyline even more, because then Ryan Wilder wouldn't just be trying to avenge her mother by capturing and taking down the Scarecrow, but also the original Batwoman, Kate Kane. So I think that would definitely be interesting. Yeah. Now, the sad thing about this is that, if Kate Kane gets killed off, then that definitely does not leave the door open for Ruby Rose to return down the line. Because I just can't speak today. But the main reason she wanted to leave the role is because of the scheduling, because she was the main character on the series and she had to be there so much, and it took so much out of her. But she could have still appeared in cameos and stuff. That's why I mentioned that she could appear as a cameo to film her death scene or something like that, because just as long as it's not like weeks or days or months, I assume she'd be good with, maybe just going on to do one day of filming or something for this, just to have closure with her character or something. But yeah, so if this is true, then Kate Kane, no possible return. She's never seen her cousin Bruce again. And I'm still upset about the fact that they're getting rid of the Kate Kane character and replacing it with this new Batwoman, because that's not really going to make sense with any of the other characters on the show, because they're all connected to Kate Kane specifically, not necessarily Batwoman. So I'm still not sure how it's going to work. But I'm definitely interested to see where this goes, especially based on all this information that we got from the direct. And actually, a lot of this info appears to have come from some leaked audition tapes, so, there's a decent chance that it's on the level, and that this is accurate, and I believe it is, because it just makes so much sense, especially with Scarecrow. Like I said, he fits so well with the aesthetic of this show, and I'm just excited to see it. But what do you guys think about this? Are you sad that Kate Kane is going to get killed off, but at the same time, are you excited that we're going to get Scarecrow in Batwoman Season 2? Because I know I am. Like I said, my favorite Batman villain. I'm excited to see him as much as I can get him on the big screen, on the little screen, TV, whatever. But yeah, I'm just excited for this. Of course, still disappointed about Ruby Rose and Kate Kane and everything, but we can't really do anything about it. We just got to get over it. But yeah, so let me know all your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Please remember to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and hit the subscribe button so that I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.